Hi, stream.
Yo, they just got the supply drop out here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. We're going.
Yeah.
Land on top.
I'm not gonna make it, but yeah, you land with them for sure.
Oh, you got another guy, huh?
I tagged a shield.
Woo! All right. Oh, well, hurry up and get over here. Woo! All right. Oh, well, hurry up and get over here. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, well, hurry up and get over here. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, and then it's harder to get things going. Yeah, that sucks.
Great time.
Yeah, and then it's harder to
Our principal
get things going. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, the rules are there to make D&D into a game and not just...
Wah, 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 wah. Woo! All right. Whoop! I have so many YouTube videos open because I've been watching so many things in an attempt to prepare myself for this Dungeon Master job. Oh yeah, I know. I have looked up all of the big names advice on DMing, and like one of the first things that people put out there is like don't overplan, because if you overplan, something's going to go awry. Usually if you try to give your players path 1 and path 2, you're going to find out that they always choose road C. So it's like, yeah, that's cool and that's fine. I still want to run a good game, you know, so I still need to be prepared and knowing rules, knowing how interactions work, and then not messing that up later, not setting an expectation for something that's, oh, okay, I let that happen last time, but actually it is. And so you're probably going to hear me saying things a lot like, it, you find me saying things that are a lot like, you know, my understanding of this is blank, and maybe in the you know, in the future we'll use the real rules, but for now, blank. So you'll probably find that kind of thing going on. Yeah, you know, because I don't think I don't want to sacrifice like looking up rules in order to like stop the game from continuing to move forward. I think that wouldn't be any fun. I'm gonna create a new unassigned character. Let's see if I can do that. So, yeah, all right. How far do you think you are in this, buddy? These three guys, minute 40? All right. Hey, nice. Hey, well, get this. Bear Spirit's already got his character linked. So if he just, yeah, if he just jumps over in the chat, I'm gonna start with him. In fact, I'm gonna go see if he's ever been playing games. Nah, he wasn't. All right. Well, you're leaving me hanging because I really wanted to jump in with yours first, since yours is the one on. But I guess we'll do Bear first. No, you got your thing. No, you got your game. You got your game. You do your deal. So you're probably going to find that there's a few more races than you initially thought that would be potentially available, because even now I'm just looking, I'm like, oh, that one came from that one came from over there. But also, these races are pretty much going to cover this kind of content, and it'll be fine. Did you go? No, if you're going to start by clicking my link to join the campaign so that you could join the campaign. That was our first one. Yep. Campaigns. It's the 2-bit D&D. Review this campaign. I'm gonna look at Bear's character. Boom. Well, yeah, because it does that. So you're maybe gonna have to open a, I don't know, incognito window and log in as your own Twitch. All right. Well, you're supposed to log in with Twitch. I don't know why. Probably, but dude, just open an incognito window and log in. That way you don't have to switch super often from the thing. That way you don't have to keep asking for a token every couple days. Just once a month, like the rest of us. Yeah. Great Bear Spirit was the first to link his character. Link his account. Exclamation point. Hey, buddy. You're the first person to link their account in the campaign. Inspiration. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to like, I'm streaming and I was thinking this, so like, how are we going to do this best? I could definitely like go through with like Chris's character and you but I might just go through the same screens so that we're on the same like page roughly. And then, you know, yours will be there and it should be the exact same as the one that I make on stream, and we'll just delete it, you know, so that you've got yours on your account. Yeah. I mean, mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what, that's why we're getting together. What was the last one? Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why we're getting together to do it, so that we can do it. All right, get it all together and have some idea. Yeah, you can. I can't stream your guys' screens that way though. So if we wanted, we could skip out on the voice chat and do like a call and share desktops like that if you want. Um, but otherwise, I could just like click through and build one here on screen, and we can just, you know, like I said, I'll just delete it when we're done. So that way we're just kind of like walking through each one together. Do what? Yeah, exactly. So each of you are on your accounts. All right. So we're using the content that I have paid for on D&D Beyond, because as we go through this character creation process, you're going to see how easy it makes it to just use that stuff and those items, because you won't have to like be flipping through pages in the book in order to go back to your background pages and see how those like link to your other portions and what's there, and then pulling up the different ones. And I won't have to keep track of which copy of which books you're using, and okay, like, you know, CJ is really interested in doing this gunslinger class. Maybe I'll just allow this gunslinger class, but then because it's Lost Mine of Fendelver, then it's like broken for that campaign at level 1, right? So maybe like next campaign we'll start and open up to more. I'm also open that, hey, if you guys want to give me money so I can buy more stuff on here, feel free. And then I can open up your character classes to other things that are on here, and we can all share it, and we all have access to all that stuff. So so CJ was thinking about it. What if I did buy the Critical Role books again? It's like, well, no, if you buy me the Critical Role books, then yeah, then we can throw it on here. Yeah, it'd take like a vote probably. I'd say like there's 4 of us, and if we all say, hey, that's cool. But in which case, I want my $70 back because I already put $70 in. Mm-hmm. So when you go, okay. So do you guys want to like kind of like do this together, and we can go through the first steps, and then you'll see. Actually, Chris, I believe we have access to the Goliath race. So I'm pretty sure I saw that in here when I went to look through the character builder. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I also do think like straight up, if you want to do like you envision more of a Han Solo character, and you want to go build something that's kind of close to a rogue smuggler good guy, and that means that the party doesn't have a tank. I'm not gonna like punish the campaign for you guys not having like all of the specific roles. I'm gonna try and prepare ahead of time so that if we, I'm not throwing the party up against something it can't handle. Um, but also that there's like the level of danger, right? Like I don't want to make it like so easy that there's no chance that nobody dies. That's not as fun. Okay, well, that puts us at 2 paladins. Rocket Squid, Joe in here. I think he's in the chat too. Hi, Joe. Hey. Yeah, it's been a long time for me for DMing as well. Hey, Joe, you kind of sound like you have some more experience, maybe more recent experience too than most of us. Nice. All right. Yep. Cool. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, so I've been playing a 5e campaign, 5th edition campaign, the last year actually, roughly as well. And we just started our like our group, one of the guys is out for like a month and a half, and so we started another one. So our group is running two and through, and our DM over there. So I'm actually kind of excited to like get on this side of things. But I'm glad to know that you've got some experience because you'll probably I might if I'm trying to like muddle up on a rule and you kind of remember it. And I could state something like, all right, we'll go with that for now. And maybe I'll look it up and we'll make sure we use the right one later. That would be helpful, like, so that way keep things moving rather than like, all right, hold on. I'm looking this up. Yeah. Right. I'll just think about what your next move is. I'm going to see how the AC calculates. But for the stream tonight, and I'm streaming right now, by the way, Joe. So I hope that's cool. And I did, so I know you do too. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I should probably like re-mention that to I think maybe CJ, but she was streaming with us before she flaked out and quit. I do love CJ, but I am mildly concerned that she may flake on some weeks. So I don't want to put her character in a role that we absolutely couldn't do without. So like it's healer or something. All right. What you guys' name? I remembered it. Pure Biter Bomb. That's great. I liked his backgrounds too. That like story you gave me, that was awesome. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great. Joe's played this, so he's into it. Cool. All right, let me take a look. Uh, all right. Well, let's here. Let me do because we're in classes official under. Yeah, I think so. I think it's called Rogue or Bard. No, actually, it's Bard. You literally sling insults as a Bard. Yeah, it's like it's like one of your first level like things that you can get to. Really. Yeah, they're like a support class, but they're a great support class. So for the stream's sake, what I was gonna do is I was gonna like kind of like walk through. I think if you guys would go through the character builder, kind of go through like home, race, class, abilities, description with us simultaneously. That way, when we come down to different points, we could talk about like what each one means. But I'll kind of duplicate create Elitist's character on screen. And that way we've got one. Or I could just make one too. I could be like, oh, bonus character, like NPC number 5. Well, hey, no, you're cool. You said you like we're going to be on for a little bit tonight, right? So we can. Oh, hilarious! I have to go pick up my significant other. She is after an exam at 9, so I'm glad we were all able to start this a little early. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it totally works. But let's like jump in, right? Like, cause I want to like get a little couple things going, if that's cool with everybody. So if you guys were all going over to the like the character class, you're in your builder and you're at the home button. So like before you go to race or class or abilities, and you give the name. I know Bear was asking about the content. Um, I want to allow homebrew content in case I want to like make a magical item, or like edit one from the book and give it a little more flair. So, like in the instance of like a sword that might only be like a +1 something, but to like give it some flair to describe how it looks and the name of it, try and make it more epic. So I want to allow homebrew content. Um, I'm wasn't going for the critical role content because yeah, my desktop audio should be, but it does not look like it. Huh. That's weird. Here, you guys talk again. Yeah, it's not showing up. Well, dag nabbit. That's so weird. Yeah, we should be able to hear everyone, and I don't know why my desktop audio is just off. That's bizarre. I shouldn't have to add. Shouldn't have to add Discord as an audio source, but maybe something changed. I know. It's because I plugged in the second monitor. As soon as I did, it's like, oh, what audio's coming from where? But I can hear you guys, and my desktop audio should be on. So I'll just try and add the source. Yeah, I have it playing in my headset, but my desktop audio is also playing through my headset. Yeah, well, I added that Discord as an option above everything. I'm going to throw it under everything. All right, and you guys trying to talk for me? What the heck? Desktop's at 27%. That's fine. Monitor off. What do you mean set to? Default.
Set it to your headset.
Yeah, I switched it. That worked. So it just didn't swap. It usually swaps. I'm sorry. But Lightning Girl 112 or 112. Thank you for asking that question and pointing out that that's not there. You should be able to hear all the guys now.
Hooray.
Yep.
Hello.
Sweet.
I'm coming through twice.
Yeah, are you on something else as well?
No, that's weird. It only happens every once in a while.
I switched to push to talk, so if I'm a little delayed in response, I just didn't want my dog being really loud in the background.
You're
Oh,
good.
That's what
You're
it
good.
is. It says push to talk. I was because I keep hearing a little bink, and then I'll hear an echo of me. So I think it says push to talk. That's all right. So what do you guys think for a changeling asshole?
What does that mean? But
Well,
you're on home. We're on home
I
screen
plan to
anyways.
be a
You're
super
too
duper
far.
jerk.
You're too far ahead of me. So dial it back and go back to the home button.
Okay.
Thank you. I got to make sure it's all checked right, and then we can get there. If we do it together and we do it fast, we'll be quick. And you can ask this
Okay.
question in like 1 second because race is next. So if you're on the home screen, allow homebrew content because again, I might want to make some extra like customized monsters or magic items and stuff like that.
All right.
I'm not gonna go rolling with the critical role content because I don't know how that's gonna break the level 1 starter campaign that we're on. And I don't want someone to use critical role content and just be like super overpowered and nobody else gets to have a good time because gunslingers shot everybody in the face before we had any chance to move through things. Play test content, also no. You can leave Eberron content checked. As far as advancement type, go ahead and do milestone because I'm thinking to level the party up as a whole. So you guys will all get to level 2 together. You'll all get to level 3 together, and not have like too unbalanced for experienced players or somebody else. How comfortable are you guys with encumbrance? It calculates
like-
it. It calculates it on its own with the website.
Ooh.
So you don't really have to worry about it. It'll just tell you, and it'll just reduce your movement speed if you are over encumbered.
But that means we can't just take everything that's not nailed down.
It just means you can't carry everything that's not nailed down with you through the entire campaign. But if you guys end up with a house, or you end up with, like a room or a carriage or something, then you probably have a good chance that you can take all this stuff with you anyways.
I vote mobile headquarters.
Wagons are always a must.
Right? And they're not like super expensive, especially for adventurers who are willing to delve into like secret caverns and loot and pillage those evil orcs hideout. You'll probably find that
Oh,
you get up there
dude,
Yeah,
pretty
you
quick.
just got to remember where you parked, really.
The character I'm planning on making will pillage good people as well.
We'll get to alignment. I wanted to talk about that. Well, I want to. All right, ignore coin weight. I don't think you need to worry about coin weight gold. I think that's kind of BS. That's why it's separate from encumbrance. So you could keep that on the red mark. It's good. The hit point type, fixed, and if we have to do anything, we'll manually enter it. Ability score modifiers. Put them at the top. Character privacy. It's public so that we can see it together. I think it needs to be that way in order to be in my campaign. So now races. Now I know Chris is talking about it and what it is, but Chris, when you're on this screen, you should see only the races that are available to us from the books.
Okay, perfect.
So from the books that I've got the content from on D&D Beyond. And again, if you guys want to buy it for me, you go for it. You're like, oh man, I really want to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's like a $15 pack. I will accept donations. Or if we want to talk about it with Tristan and say, hey, is this a place where we want to spend this money? Is that cool? Then, I could just pay back for the book spent, and then we could buy like two more pieces probably. So we'd have to figure that out later. But for now, these are your available races. Right.
I'm gonna have to rethink things again.
You have Araka, Dragonborn, a dwarf with 3 sub-races, an elf with 4, Genocide with 4, Genasi with 4, Gnome's got 3, there's a Goliath. It's a half-elf, which has a base race and 4 variants of half-elf. I'm assuming
That's
it's
a
like...
lot of half-elves.
I think it's like half elf and half what else? Because the original half elf is like half human, half elf. And there's like a drow half elf, aquatic half elf. If you click the down arrow, you guys can see all the different ones. Different dwarves: gray dwarf, hill dwarf, mountain dwarf, dark elf, Eladrin elf, high elf, wood elf. The Genocide, I think it is, are like elementals: air, earth, fire, water. Gnomes, deep forest, rock. Just a Goliath. The variations on half elf: wood, high, half drow, aquatic, half elf. Never even heard of that. There's the half orc, half ling. There's 3 options in there: Ghostwise, Lightfoot, Stout halfling. Human, it's got his base human, variant human. Tiefling has variants galore: feral, regular tiefling, variant feral, and variant. I think this is gained from Sword Coast Adventurers. And then,
if you weren't sure if you want to be feral, or if you're really into it, you could be feral.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's a weird choice, but I'm sure each one has their own stats. So, I mean, if you've looked at it before and you had an idea, I think Chris has got this idea for a big, strong guy, but you don't have to be big to be strong. Dwarves definitely fall in that category.
Well, my changeling is there, and I've got to rethink everything again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm-
Do you know
I'm
which
just-
one the Chainlink was under?
Oh no, it's fine. It won't take me long.
Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. Yeah, and I don't have that, so
That's fine. I think I do kind of want to be like a. I don't really want to be a healer.
did you have like any idea of the character like in general? Like I usually try to think of that like the last time I went and did it, I envisioned like a bookworm, you know, and I ended up with a high elf wizard, but she's just, you know, knows in the books all the time. It's always about
Right.
studying, it's always about that. So that was like wizard was a natural pick from the antisocial bookworm that I wanted to go with.
I think I want to go with a tief. I'll do like a tiefling thief.
So the rogue
Yeah.
on the tiefling. So I know. So we'll have like kind of sneaky group.
Yeah.
We have two
Yeah.
rogues.
I'm kind of envisioning her like being used to it because people don't really like her race very much.
Right. You will have people responding to the fact that you look like the spawn of Satan. Um,
Oh, dude. Okay, so one of the variants gets vicious mockery cantrip.
that's the
The
bard.
Death
Yeah, it's like the bard. So tieflings make good bards, right? Because charisma is their bonus stat, and bards and warlocks use charisma as their spell casting.
I'm gonna be right back.
Cool, man.
The only thing is, I don't know what it doesn't really say in the. I'm looking at the race details as well, and it doesn't say what the difference between all like the different types of tieflings are.
What do you mean?
The variants here, like feral.
Well, it's when you click on it, it should do a pop up, right?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Click on it as a pop up, and it'll tell you your big ones. You know, the ability score. Like feral tiefling gets intelligence. So if you wanted a tiefling, but you wanted to go into the down the road of wizard rather than like the rogue or the bard, looks like the feral tiefling is more in that one. Because it's the charisma by 2, well, plus dex, so you're still in that sneaky area.
Yeah, they all-
Feral, yeah.
they
See,
all
that one's
seem to have
more.
the same. Oh, okay. This one's charisma intelligence. The other two are dexterity intelligence.
And if you're
Then
going
I'd
with the
wanna be-
rogue, if
Then
you're
I want
going
to be dexterous.
dexterous is good. Yeah.
So we'll go with chosen.
What'd you go with?
I went with the top feral.
Feral tiefling. I'm gonna go pick the same one. How about you, Bear?
Oh,
What are you doing?
So I'm looking at the genocide. So I was looking at the Earth one. It's got some pretty cool abilities. I get an extra 2 to Constitution. I have the ability to move across difficult terrain of earth or stone without expending extra movement, and I
pretty
get
cool.
an ability called Merge with Stone. Cast the Pass Without Trace spell. I don't know what that spell does. I'd have to look it up.
Pass without trace.
It does what it says it does.
Hey, Oz is with us. Hey, Oz.
Having some internet issues, but I should be fine.
Actually,
Cool.
and I changed over to the variant feral tiefling because I like Devil's Tongue as a cantrip.
Is that the vicious mockery?
Yes,
All
I will viciously mock every,
right.
even you guys. So be prepared.
I might hit you pretty hard.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it might hurt.
Then you can heal me.
So, pass without trace is.
oh
has-
my god, I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's all right.
So pass without trace is is a spell that basically gives you bonus to your stealth. If you could cast it as a spell, and it's not just like a feat for you, you could also help stealth with other people.
So it says, hang on, let me go back to it. So it says you can cast the Pass Without Trace spell once with this trait, requiring no material components, and you regain the ability to cast it this way when you finish a long rest.
That's
Yeah.
like a day.
Yeah, basically, long rest is like an 8-hour period. You got to sleep for 6 of it. You can't do
unless your
anything
race says you don't.
active. Yeah, that's true. This is general long rest, and you can't be doing anything active. So basically, you're like kind of out for 8 hours, unless you're certain races, and then there's like
Elves.
elves. They get the bonus of.
It's elves. It's mostly elves.
Is it? I don't know all the other new ones, but
Well,
yeah,
I mean, of the
elves are one of the other
of
ones.
the classes of the races people play, it's usually elves.
Yeah, and they have the ability to just meditate and get the same benefits of 4 hours of meditation that other races get from their long rest.
Which means they get first and last watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I might, for my druid, I think I might go with, I don't know, an Earth Genocide.
Okay. When you're looking at those, you and you can always come back. You know, we're not settling on these right now. We can work them out in a little bit, or we can throughout the week. But you also want to consider like if the class you're going with uses something as spell casting, it might be a good idea to go with a race that gets a bonus in that. So like I went with the high elf because it gives me a high intelligence bonus, and I was doing a wizard which uses intelligence as its spell casting. So it would be the same thing like if you wanted to go with the bard, you would like to go with something with charisma, or a warlock, charisma, because that's their spell casting. And that's where you're going to get the most benefits out of it. So I saw that Earth Jensai has +2 to Constitution. So they're like a warrior. They're like strong and resistant to things.
So I'm trying to figure that out. So, hang on. So,
Are they like all Constitution?
besides the water one.
Yeah, that's Constitution too.
So what do you need in this party?
Well, so far, we got Bears talking about being a druid. CJ's mentioned she wants to be a rogue. Chris is also looking at rogue, and Rocket Squid's talking about a paladin.
And in terms of races,
In terms of races, we only got through, I think, we only got through Chris, who settled on feral tiefling, and he has been warned that people will treat him like the tiefling is treated.
I'm looking at the appearance, and it says my tiefling might not look like other tieflings. Rather than having physical characteristics from the player's handbook, choose 1d4 plus 1 of the following features: small horns, fangs or sharp teeth, forked tongue, cat-like eyes, 6 fingers on each hand, goat-like legs. There's a lot there.
So yeah, so that will be the thing. So if somebody, maybe you don't have horns, but with your forked tongue, someone gets a little turned off by that. Or 6 fingers, like, that's something's weird with this guy.
So
Goat
I don't
legs.
understand. I
Goat
don't
legs
understand.
is probably thinking you're, like something's weird here. You're a creature that he's not familiar with. He's just a regular human farmer. He doesn't want to talk to you.
Where will I put that in my character sheet though? Because there's no place for it.
It will go in your character sheet, and we can.
there will be a spot later.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. The system was set up by people who know what they were doing at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super good.
Yeah. I need. So I it looks like my spell casting is based off of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So I would I'm trying to see if there's anything that gives a plus to that.
Now, what do you guys think would be more useful? Devil's Tongue, which is a vicious mockery cantrip, or Winged? Because I just saw that I have that as an option too, so I can fly.
Where is this in the book?
Do you actually get to fly with that, or is it kind of like a glide?
It
Does it
says
say
you have
as
a flying.
like
You
the
have
spell?
you have a flying speed of 30 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor.
Oh,
This trait replaces Infernal Legacy trait.
I'm sorry, I was looking something up. Where are you under? You're on your variant feral tiefling.
Yeah, I'm in the race, and then it says variant tiefling at the very bottom.
You have one choice.
One choice. I like Devil's Tongue because I want to be vicious, but winged might actually be a lot more useful for a rogue. It says I can fly at a speed of 30 feet while I'm not wearing heavy armor.
That's an option you have to make. I think you. I mean, since you want to be doing this thing about the devil's tongue, it sounds kind of fun. Really, like
Where is?
he's a variant. He's a variant feral tiefling.
Yeah, we're in the character builder where it kind of like it's walking us through it.
Oh, it's from the Sword Coast book. That's why. That's
Yep.
why I didn't know that.
Right. And so that's why I said like, oh, these are the ones we're using, because those are the ones I've bought here on D&D Beyond.
And you have a
Xanathar's Player's
Yeah, oh.
Handbook and Sword Coast. I think those are the only ones I have that
okay. That one's not in the
contain
Dropbox.
races.
So
Oh, the Sword
What's up-
Coast?
what's
Actually,
up,
yeah,
Rocket Squid?
that's not
I'll
in the
get it.
Dropbox. So I can't read that from here.
I'll get it in there.
Oh, Queen Sassy's in the chat now too, saying hello.
Aloha.
yeah, that's my girlfriend.
I keep forgetting I'm live to the studio.
Hi,
Oh
Sassy.
yeah. Hey, you're live in the studio. We need like a red light that shows up on your stuff.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Devil's Tongue and just insult people.
I mean, especially if you want that, but you don't want to go down the bard route.
Yeah, because at level third level it becomes Charm Person.
I'm excited to hear your vicious mockery, because if you'd be like, I cast vicious mockery, I want to hear what this insult is.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see. There was
I'm a street person, man. I'm a street person that's used to hiding.
in Hearthstone. We had a card called Evil Heckler. A few sets back, and when it came in, it would say one of two things. One of which was, "Your mother was a murloc."
Murlocs are cool.
And the other one was, "You smell like a leper gnome."
Nice.
I've always been a fan of the inform them that their matriarchal leaders wear combat footwear, but that's a little too Star Trek, I think, for D&D.
I don't get it.
I don't
Your
know.
mother wears.
Your mother
What?
wears combat boots.
Is that wrong?
I mean, in this
Like-
world,
No.
no. I think it fits in the. It depends on where we are. If you go to the city and you're talking to a noble, man, that might upset them. But if you're talking to like you're like out in the country, in some
If I
small
went to a
town,
city and talked to a noble, they would have said that I deigned to talk to them at all.
I would be run out of town. All right.
You could.
Okay,
I didn't know you could run.
I'd be flown out of town. Actually, I didn't choose that, so I couldn't fly out of.
See that?
I'm
there
kind
it
of
is.
I'm glad too. Like I probably would have been like, wings. Like you're gonna make me like.
Oh
like,
no, I would
just
break
put-
the game. I
well,
would purposefully.
No,
break
it
the
would just
game.
be a lot of archers.
So
It'd just
what
be a
settings do I
lot
put
of
for this?
archers.
So I'm in the Beyond, and I'm what settings do I put for this? Are you
Did
making
you-
the characters, or should
Did
I?
you click over and add your guy in? Okay. We could do it. I kind of wanted to make one on here,
hey,
but
I gotta go
everybody's
let the
kind of
dog
putting
out. I'll
theirs
be right
together.
back.
Didn't catch that
Excuse me.
So I'm not making them. Although Oz, you have two in here for some reason.
because it wouldn't let me edit the one that I didn't finish making.
Okay.
So I have to go over to here. And
Really?
go, oh, that's why this is like. Okay, so get rid of this
There you go.
and get rid of this, and then go back to the campaign, and then go back to the campaign, and over here, and now, if you refresh, it should be just. I don't have anything yet.
Okay. you're not on character builder. So if you go to characters, my characters, and your character listed in there. Towards the top.
Like refresh the party page.
Yeah, I see you've got 2.
They should be gone now.
They are both gone.
Okay. So now I could make something
And Elitist
from
has
my
2.
side or from your side.
And Great Bear has 2. So I've got
Yeah, it does. If
2
you
dudes.
start editing and don't finish, then you can't get into it unless you go to your profile and edit the character from there.
Yeah, I just did that. I accidentally hit back instead of like the
This is how it is. Let's see. So like
So,
this can change
so
later.
Bear,
that can-
hold on a sec. Oz. So Bear, real fast, I did a quick search for like races that fit like the druid role and like some recommended ones. Down the list are the Arakorka, I guess. Arakokra. As a highly recommended. Halfling Ghostwise, did that end up on ours? I think it does.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Oh, okay. So you found it. Sweet. And then Hill Dwarf. Those are the other ones that are like top recommended, and then it kind of comes down. I don't think we have Kenku or Lizard Folk or Kobold or Yuan-Ti.
Let's see, mark that there. This over here.
Human
D.
Elfwood. So okay, Oz.
Yeah,
Open that.
is it called the Asamar? They have a +1 to wisdom.
That's not a real name.
I don't know how to say it.
All right.
Uh,
Which one?
yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be no help when it comes to pronouncing things.
Oh yeah, yeah. Spell it.
It's the one that's all the way at the bottom of our list. It's Aasimar.
Asamar.
Hasamar. Hasamar?
They have a +1 to
Giggle.
So I was reading up on it. So no one in 5th edition gets a +2 to wisdom. And I think they were saying like the reason they did that was so that like if you wanted to be a cleric or somebody who uses wisdom for healing, you didn't have to be specifically like one race.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't like put that one up over all of the others. It makes sense to you because also there's a lot of saving throws for stuff that wisdom would be like you might be like
I mean,
padding
you can
padding
get a +2.
padding resistance to some things. Yeah, I mean you could when we could do the stats, you could totally go that direction.
Like you can get a +2 from your race if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
It's really not that complicated.
I mean there's some, but like I don't know any that does the wisdom.
Oh, here's how it works. You
I don't know any that do wisdom.
so you go variant human.
Okay, yeah. Variant
for a point.
humans.
And then you just take a feat that gives you a wisdom point.
Yeah, I just didn't want to play a human. And
Don't play what you don't want to play.
What's wrong with humans? You got a problem with humans?
Yeah,
already-
I'm racist against humans.
if I can be something cool and not what I already am in real life, I want to do that.
Yeah, that's what I usually do too. That's why I always play a lady.
I have returned.
Hey, he's back.
All right.
Hmm.
So I chose my trait.
So you chose your trait on your race. Or anybody else? Everybody comfortable with me just continuing forward with elitist while you guys look at your races?
That's fine.
Does anybody else? Did anybody pick one? Because
I
remember,
did. I'm a variant human.
cool. So we're gonna have a human in the group. I don't think any of the games I play have a human in the group.
I'm usually a human or one of the generic fantasy races.
So cool. You're down. Bear, we'll let you go through pick it. If you would have picked something now and then like come back and adjust this later because you realized you wanted something a little different, you could totally do that this week and we can talk about it next week. So if you just want to like go and be in line with us as we're going along, You're more than welcome
Let's see,
to.
put that over there. Go back over to the table of contents. Down, over. Which one was it?
Ooh,
All right.
Me and CJ can have secret conversations.
With Thieves Cantrip.
Yep.
Thieves can't.
I mean, I could
Yeah,
go.
you actually
Thieves
could.
can.
I
Thieves
can go
can't.
like a wood half elf, and I get +2 to charisma, and then +1 to 2 other ability scores.
What? That seems broken.
Okay, so who's running this campaign?
I am the DM.
And this is one of the this is the out of the box campaign, which means there's going to be a decent amount of combat.
This is gonna be, we're gonna do the Lost Mine of Phandelver, because I recently ran that with my group. It was the
And
first
we're
one that we
playing
got
with
in.
these
and
people, which
We're playing with these people.
Ridiculous.
I like
okay,
that.
put that over there.
So the wood half elf gets 2 to his charisma and +1 to 2 other ability scores. Damn, that's broken.
Yeah.
That's later. That's later. That doesn't.
But that does mean you can't put.
change.
You have to choose 2 ability scores to give +1. You're not going to be
Yeah.
both in wisdom.
Yeah, no. So I put 1 in wisdom, and then I'm trying to decide. I was thinking going another 1 in constitution, just to like give myself. What? Hang on. That should affect my health, right?
Your constitution? Yeah, typically your class will you describe your hit points, and it's usually your constitution modifier and some dice roll number. So like it'll be like a hit die plus it. It'll tell you what it is at the beginning. So like if you chose your race and then you moved on to the next one for class and you picked your class druid, the first thing at the top says hit points. So like I'm looking at the rogue for Christopher, and it's 1d8 per rogue level. I think most of them are typically a d8. Wizards are d6 for that class. I know that. So there's other classes that'll be lower, like wizards are squishy. I have an idea about most people, but Oz, what were you thinking as far as your race and your class? You said variant human and then spellcaster of some kind, right? Cleric? Okay. Helping us out.
Let's see. Put that over there. Open the book.
So variant human.
Right, so what's the big difference between investigation and perception?
Investigation is search sort of checks. Perception is is like spot and listen checks.
Yep.
Does that language make sense to you?
Yes. So
So think of,
investigation is if I'm looking for something. Perception is just to notice what's around.
Yes.
that's a nice and easy way to put it. Yep. So think of it, if there's a trap and you're keeping an eye out for something, for like things that are out of place, perception might help you to notice an out of place stone in the ground. If you want to then investigate how to disarm the trap, you would use
Investigation.
investigation.
Gotcha.
So wait, do we have a cleric now?
Yes.
Oh, well then do I need to go healer?
A little bit.
I
But
mean,
more-
are you gonna go dedicated healer? Because that's what I
Yes,
was gonna do. Okay.
You should go. You should go towards being able to turn into awesome things, like dinosaurs.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm down with that, but I can off heal them. Cool.
Yes. Is the Let's see. What was it? Where's an easy place to roll dice when we're not actually playing a game?
Oh man, I wish
Are
I
you
wish
making a
Discord
decision?
did it.
Yes.
I just used my desk.
God damn it! All my dice are
I'm going to.
downstairs.
Okay, wizards.com/dnd/dice/dice.
There you go.
Okay, so put this over there and this over here.
You guys just go to Google and be like, roll 4d6. Oh no,
Okay.
oh no, that's in Hangouts.
Does that make that popping noise?
No, that's me.
Oh, I mean, I'm no less impressed. Don't get me wrong. I was just really excited. That might be something I could control too.
It's like when there's these choices that I can't tell what I like, I roll twice and decide if I like one of them more.
Throw one. Here's a dice roll into the chat, and yeah, you could totally do that for that stuff. But when it comes to
So-
stats,
Not this time.
we're going to talk about that. That's
I just did,
part of what I
I
want to
just
get
did
there.
standard array.
All right, so
Okay.
do we have a strong man?
I'm kind of going dedicated defender more so than healing, so I'm
I'm
kind of
going-
tanky. I
I'll be
guess.
the back line. The paladin will be the front line. The druid will be back and forth, probably.
All right.
He's like your damage dealer. Aw,
All right. So I'm
And
gonna
the
go.
rogue is stabbing.
I heard
somewhere.
the happy noise.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like dedicated.
Thanks, Queen
Don't
Sassy.
see me.
Let's see. Go over here and roll this die.
All right, so Christopher, I'm running yours on the screen, so I'm going to keep talking to you. If you guys are cool
Okay.
with that, we're on the class section, so keep up with your
Alright,
class questions. Remember, you're level 1. We're starting
proficiencies.
easy.
Proficiencies. I think I've chosen stealth, deception, investigation, and perception.
Stealth,
Um,
deception, investigation, and perception.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Damn, rogue. Why it's so broken.
Rogues get lots of
yeah,
skills. that's the thing that happens
I'm
all
gonna
the
be.
time.
I'm gonna be the roguest rogue that ever rogued.
So Han Solo.
No, I'm gonna be better than Han Solo.
Who's more roguey than Han Solo? That's what I think of when I think of the description of rogue. That's like my
I'll
first.
let
It's
you
my
know.
go-to.
I'll let you know when I come up with a name.
There's
Who's the captain from Serenity?
Oh, yeah.
Cade
Yeah,
6.
you're right.
ooh. Cade 6 kind of would be a rogue. Like
No,
if you're
Cade 6 is the captain from Serenity.
Oh, the voice actor Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Malcolm Reynolds. That's who it
Yeah,
was.
Mal Reynolds. Yeah.
All right. So all right, so Chris is leaning towards the like really taking this rogue roll to heart, and I feel like he's going thief. Like he's gonna subclass over there when he gets the choice
Yeah.
later. But for
Expertise
I'm
is
at-
going to be.
I'm at
thieves,
ability
tools-
scores, so I'm gonna wait for you guys.
Okay.
okay, so
Thieves,
expertise,
tools, and stealth.
tools, and stealth. All right, so you kind of already have stealth as one of your others that you picked. You don't get to stack that, so
Oh, yeah.
why
it doesn't
don't
stack.
so why don't you
It-
choose
okay.
another proficiency from that
All right,
first one?
that's- All right. So what's the difference between expertise and proficiency?
Okay, expertise should say in expertise that it's if you're proficient in it, you get to double that proficientness. So expertise in
It's-
stealth and proficiency in stealth stack.
Let me read this again. First level,
Well,
you
it
choose
says-
2 of your skill proficiencies or 1 of your skill proficiencies and your proficiency with thieves tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that you make that uses either of the chosen proficiencies.
Mhm. There
So
are various proficiencies that are not skills, like you can be proficient in dice, playing cards, and various types of tools. Blacksmith's tools, thieves' tools,
So-
cartographers' tools in certain books.
yeah, so well, I guess we'll see it when it comes over there. If I see your stealth number as much higher, then that'll be true for how it calculates out. I even think from this wording though that it's just talking about the proficiency bonus, but it might be. Man, it's rogues so broken.
Good.
You like it?
see.
I do.
You have your
All right,
sneak
and then-
attack, which is, I mean, if you're
And
doubling up in your stealth, your sneak attack's going to be important.
Mhm.
And then thieves can't. That's yeah. You and CJ be able to send messages off to you
And
guys
then
can.
Add
a
another
li-
class. Are we going to be doing that?
No, you're not going to add another class because you're level 1.
Okay.
So you just move over to abilities.
Ability.
So this is a little more complicated, and I'm going to go through it for our beginner friend. There's the 3 different methods from the drop down: standard array, Manual will be dice rolling, and if we're gonna do dice rolling, you're gonna have to have a camera on, and you're gonna have to. We can do the split where you would roll, because you need 6 numbers. You would roll 7 and drop the lowest, so that you get the chance. So we'll give you the odds to just be dead broken. And then there's also point buy, which is you have a set number of points and you can set them out.
All right, so we're gonna be doing
Standard arrays can. Is that what you want to do? You want to roll dice for these?
I don't know. What do you want to do? You're the GM, man.
Well,
Standard
so that's
is usually
it's up to
pretty
you.
good.
I'm letting you pick between them.
Standard is slightly above average. Point buy is slightly above average compared to rolls. But if you roll well, you can break the campaign. If you roll poorly, you can break the campaign.
Okay, so I'm gonna do standard. I'll do standard array then.
Okay, let me tell you the difference between standard array and point buy real fast, okay? So with standard array, you're only going to be able to put in so many points in a category. You're going to get a 15, and then a 14, then a 13, then a 12, then a 10, then an 8.
Right.
It works out to the same numbers, but you basically want to kind of put your highest number into your most important stat and then on down the way. If you
That
do,
sounds easiest for me, honestly. So that's what.
it's probably easiest. If you do point buy, you can sacrifice stats in order to make others better. And that kind of depends on how you want to play it. So, for instance, the High Elf Wizard that I was talking about that I made, she has an 8 in strength and charisma. She's never going to lift anything. She literally can't pull her own weight. Right? And
Right.
if she was going to try and convince someone of something, and I ever had to roll like a charisma check to a friend to be like, hey, why don't you just come over our place for dinner? She'd probably be like, I don't really like you, but you should come over our house for dinner. And they'll be like, what? you
Yeah.
know, like, so there's that kind of like give and take with that. So, but then, my bonuses are much higher on some of my other spells. Like my intelligence score is really high, so my investigations almost always succeed, and then my dex bonus with my racial bonus is very high, so I usually go first and have a higher chance of taking half damage from a lot of dex based saving throw spells. So there's give and takes to both. Easiest is probably just standard array. And I would just kind of click around and choose between your different ones and pick like what it is. You should see on there your bonuses for your racial bonus. So you already have something in intelligence and dex. With your class, you probably want to put your highest number in dex to make that really high, because that's where most of your stuff's going off of.
And then Constitution is hit points, right?
Constitution is hit points. It's kind of like a standard one to take as a second highest for a lot of characters because you get it, but you can argue that either way, right? Because maybe you want to put your charisma up a little bit so that you're getting along better in towns, or you can like talk your way out of when you were caught somewhere or something.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk my way out of a lot of things because people hate my race.
I can just turn into a tree.
Now then,
Would any of you guys? Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll just be like, I'm not here. I'm a tree. Would you guys have any recommendations for a rogue tiefling?
what is intelligence? Is that
Intelligence. So intelligence is based. So intelligence is how much knowledge you have, and wisdom is how you use it. Really. So intelligence is tied to the what they call what used to be the knowledge skills: religion, nature, history, arcana. It's knowing about things, whereas wisdom is where you can use it for things like animal handling, insight, perception, survival, practical things.
Okay, so
Insight, if you
if
can't
I
tell, is detectable shit.
if I roll a perception check, that's gonna be my wisdom.
It's going to be your wisdom, and if you have if you have a proficiency, then it'll add that in. Anything you're not proficient in just goes off your base stat.
All right, cool.
There used to be stuff that you couldn't do unless you were proficient, but that's really annoying, so it's not in the 5e.
All right, so in order of how many points I sunk into everything, I've got dexterity is the top, then charisma, then constitution, then wisdom, then strength, than intelligence because I have a modifier for intelligence. So
That sounds. It sounds like you're going to be using dex-based weapons,
mhm.
Yep,
and
because you probably only have like proficiency in like lighter weapons.
I'm looking at this, and my modifier for intelligence is -1, and then my racial
Mhm.
bonus is +1. So
yeah,
So it comes up to you're
it comes
still
up to 8 even. Yeah.
it comes up to 9. That's your total score.
Yeah. Total score. Okay.
Yeah, so you're still not average intelligence, right? Average on any of these stats is 10. So that you just think like your average adventurer.
So I'm kind of ditzy.
A little bit. A little bit. You're not if it's gonna be an intelligence score. See, this is kind of rough for you as a rogue, especially if you like went to other things like doing investigation checks, trying to figure out how a trap works or disable a lock.
Well, that would be wisdom, wouldn't it?
No, wisdom would be you noticing that the lock is there. Picking the lock would be intelligence.
Okay.
Really? I thought it was dex.
Well, I mean, all right.
It's it's usually Dex.
Wait. Is it your investigation checks? Is it? Am I way off?
Investigation
I'll
is
investigate.
finding a thing.
Yeah, that's intelligence, I
I
believe.
thought that open lock checks were under sleight of hand now.
Actually, I just learned this, and I'm going to push up my imaginary glasses here.
Do it.
So sleight of hand actually doesn't cover lockpicking. You have to have the lockpick
Pickpocketing.
kit.
It would be
So
pickpocketing.
the thieves' tools proficiency affects lockpicking
Yep,
Now,
exactly.
what is
and
strength?
disarming traps.
Strength covers damage, right?
Yep.
Strength covers damage, climbing,
It's
and
your
other
class,
athletic things like how fast, how hard you can swim,
right? You'd be averaging
and
this,
how hard you can hit people with non-finesse things.
but he's wrong about the damage on your class. So dexterity is going to be what's going to determine your damage for your kind of weapons, because they're probably going to be like light weapons. So with your high dex score, you probably not only starting the rounds earlier than most, then you're also probably using that for your damage. Strength would be damage on like a lot of other classes, like our
Okay,
paladin.
well, then I'm just
Probably want.
strength is
probably-
going to be my lowest then.
Fair
Now
enough.
then the question is intelligence or wisdom. Which one should be high?
Probably want wisdom because that will give you like that'll be stuff like you noticing enemies before they see you and stuff.
Okay, so I'm just a weakling. All right, I got to figure it out.
Yeah,
Well,
you're not gonna carry a
damage is
treasure
not
chest
affected by
back
dexterity.
if you're lower
It's
than it,
hard.
and it's
Yeah, I
heavier
can
than
I
you
can
are.
open the treasure chest and you guys can just carry all my stuff.
It might become their stuff if you're such a jerk.
Oh, I'm gonna be a jerk. I'll
So
stab them in their sleep. Backstab in their
you
sleep.
you can come back to this too if you
Okay.
get to the next screen and like we get to your character sheet and you see the actual like modifiers and the scores and be like, oh, that one's affected by that. I want to come back and change this up.
Okay. So we'll move
So-
on to description.
Description. Backgrounds are actually, and let me make sure I had that right. You are 10 in strength, 15 in dex, 13 in constitution, 8 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and 14 in charisma. Or did you swap?
I switched it up. So it's 8 in strength,
Okay.
15 dex, 13 constitution, 10 wisdom, or 10 intelligence, 12 wisdom,
14
and
charisma.
14 charisma.
Okay.
I'm still not sure about the difference in intelligence and wisdom. Like wisdom is noticing things, intelligence is acting on it.
If you want to think of it in
Intelligence
the
is
broad
rote
way,
and wisdom is practical.
yeah, think of it like a monk is wise. You know, you may have like a general guiding like idea of things. He's going to notice stuff, whereas a wizard is book smart. So maybe let's get you to the character screen so we
Okay,
can
yeah, let's
actually
get to
read
that.
those
I
read
was
those
gonna
ports.
say, if it helps, wisdom is more like intuition. You kind of
Yeah.
just you feel it, you good gut feeling kind of thing. Whereas intelligence is like book smart kind of thing. Like you could build the rocket ship, and then wisdom would knowing that you probably shouldn't ride it.
You will not go to space today.
All right. So this will be a little bit more true to life. All right.
All
I
right.
guess
Moving
the
on.
old joke is what is it? intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing it doesn't go in a fruit salad.
That's the joke.
Yeah, it's a good one. So then,
Perfect.
how are you guys? Did you guys get through your abilities?
I'm at that awkward point where I'm trying to figure out how I want to build my stats.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to figure out what wisdom really does for a paladin besides um,
Medicine checks.
It's a good save. It's a good save to have.
Well, it will.
um
It'll be a little more apparent when we get to that
And you-
last part and actually shows those different the
Isn't
breakdown stats from it.
Wisdom's the paladin casting one.
actually it's apparently it's charisma,
thought-
I thought. Like in the book here it shows that it's charisma. And I'm
That's
actually really
weird.
curious why
Then is it just clerics and wizards that use wisdom?
it must be. Yeah, 'cause
Wizards
paladin-
use int. Who uses int?
Druid uses wisdom too.
Okay, so that's the two that use wisdom.
I feel like it's rogues and
Rogues
wizards
don't.
because rogues you can go with an arcane trickster.
And it
And
says
then-
you cast like what? Like a wizard?
I don't know. Let's look. We can look real fast. So in our classes, and the question was
Classes,
for
Rogue.
our cleric. No, it was our
Roguish
paladin.
archetype.
Our paladin. Was asking the question.
Arcane tricksters cast with their int. Like a wizard.
Okay. So yeah, so there's a kind of rogue that you would want that in. Paladin has got a bonus on. Is it charisma? What's it? Defense, tooling.
yeah, like
Spellcasting.
I'm looking at the spell casting and it's charisma modifier. I'm just wondering what wisdom does for them.
Yeah, it's charisma modifier. I don't know what wisdom would do for him.
Well, that actually works out because I don't think this character really needs a high wisdom score to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, I know wisdom affects your medicine proficiencies, or not proficiencies, but your medicine bonus. So when someone is like bleeding out, they go below 0, and you maybe want to like stop their wounds, like tear your cloak and make a bandage and try to stop them from bleeding out to get them up to 1 hit point. That's a medicine check. So that's a wisdom. That's a wisdom one.
Oh, okay. I've got the divine hand thing, the
Yeah. So you kind
priestly touch, which actually
Mhm.
sounds really inappropriate once I say it.
of.
The
Oh, it's
yeah, I
Ooh,
think
I've never
okay.
seen this spell before. I wonder if is it in this Xanath? Is it in Xanathar now?
It might be that or Swordcast. Christopher,
Yes.
are you looking at your background
Yep.
possibilities?
Urchin.
Urchin. What did
Yeah.
you get?
Yes,
what
it's
do you
in
get from Urchin?
Xanathar, and it's really good.
You grew up in the streets alone, orphaned and poor, so you have no one to watch over you or provide for you, so you learn to provide for yourself. You fought fiercely over food and kept a constant watch out for other desperate souls who might steal from you. You slept on rooftops and alleyways, exposed to the elements, and endured sickness without the advantage of medicine or a place to recuperate. You've survived despite all odds, and did so through cunning, strength, speed, or some combination of each. You begin your adventuring career with enough money to live modestly but securely for at least 10 days. How did you come by that money? What allowed you to break free of your desperate circumstances and embark on a better life?
All right.
And then my proficiencies, I'm going with intimidation because just because that's a skill that I didn't get to choose earlier.
All right.
The tool I'm having trouble with because there's really nothing
Which class is this?
rogue.
Well, there's thieves' tools. You already get that.
Yeah, well, it's not an option here.
It's not an option because you've already got it.
Yeah,
So the system
Okay,
will
I'll go over
will
the
actually
items.
change it out.
I'm thinking maybe a forgery kit.
That
But
could
I
be
don't
pretty
know
useful.
how often. I don't know how often that's going to be useful though.
Well,
Let's. How about a disguise kit? That sounds very useful.
forgery might be
Um,
like forging a letter. Like
It actually it says tool proficiencies. It says disguise kit, and then already,
Really?
but then it says choose tool as a drop down.
yeah. So
Huh.
you've got that already, and you've got sleight of hand already. So I think that's why you're not getting the choice on those two. And then you have these other choices. So I mean, things that come down there.
Dulcimer is an instrument, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Hey, you guys could form a band. That's
But it
our
counts
second group
as a
did.
tool there.
Yep. We have a band. My wizard can't actually perform music, but I can cast a spell that can play music. So I have the band play what they want me to play, and then I just imitate it. And so I am the bass line.
I'm just assuming that Pubert can dance.
Let's see.
I don't think
I'm
that's
not
a
going to assume
proficiency.
well.
You know,
Oh,
I'm gonna go.
You'll
with
be making
forgery.
performance checks for that.
You could just become proficient in playing cards.
Or I could do vehicles too. What's a veal?
You can
Is that
become
Another
proficient.
instrument. It's another
You can
instrument.
become proficient in horse riding.
So maybe a poisoner's kit as a rogue could be a
Oh,
potential one.
that sounds fantastic.
So you might be able to make poisons, maybe to lace your blades with, or something like that at some point.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
good
an
idea.
option.
That
I'm looking at some of
sounds
these
better than a
other.
forgery.
The forgery kit might be. It could be useful depending on the campaign. On this one, I don't think for these first 5 levels you really would use it much. From what I remember on that, just probably like a situation or so where you might be like, "Oh, we needed to bring a letter back, and instead it got caught on fire when I burnt that orc, and so I'm gonna forge it and try and turn it in for the reward."
So
So there's options. Cook's utensils. I don't know if any of you guys know how to cook, but if you don't, then someone might not. Someone you might be
All right,
you
then
might
for this
killing the druid's animal friends in order to. But I don't know. You kind of pick the one that appeals to you.
All right. And then so now I'm down to suggested characteristics.
What did you go with? Did you go with the poison one?
Yeah, I went with the poison.
Poisoners. All right.
so this is what kind of urchin are you?
Oh, these are fun ones to roll, and they even have a random button on it. So
Okay, cool.
you could
I
try
usually
it.
roll 2 and pick one.
Yeah, because the personality traits are your 2. Your ideals are those bonds,
Actually,
flaws.
so
What I usually do is I roll them, and if I'm like, that's dumb, and that kind of tells me which one I did want.
I just rolled 1. It says that I eat like a pig, which is kind of fitting if I'm an urchin.
That's for it's number 5.
It's real.
It's
Okay,
appropriate.
yeah, perfect. These are perfect.
What'd you
so
get?
I eat like a pig and have bad manners, and
Uh-huh.
the other one was oh crap. Um,
You bluntly say what other people are hinting or hiding it.
no,
Hiding.
I think that anybody who's nice to me,
It's hiding evil intent.
yeah.
And you guys are gonna try and be evil, and it's gonna really melt my brain on how to have all these kind townspeople dealing with
Okay.
you.
So do I choose 2 from each?
Choose
No.
one from each.
No, personality traits is 2, ideals is 1, bonds is 1,
Really?
flaws is 1. It's right at the top of the sheet, right there.
There's 4 boxes though.
You could add. It will let you add all of them, but do 2 for personality, 1 for ideals, 1 for bonds, 1 for flaws. It's just a little bit easier to run yourself in that way. If you're like super into it and you absolutely need 2 flaws and 2 bonds and 2 ideals, I'll let you go 2 on each of those.
That's not what I'm saying.
But you're gonna have to have 2 flaws if you want 2 bonds.
This is like coming up exactly how I wanted to, because I just got a aspiration. I'm gonna prove that I'm worthy of a better life. And let's see, bonds is gonna be. Oh no, that's not gonna work for me. Sponsor an orphanage.
What did you pick for ideals?
It's aspiration. I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of a better life.
Oh, that is kind of perfect for your character.
I'm so glad I can just look up on Google how to spell detriment instead of announcing I don't. Unless, oh shit.
And then no one else should have to endure the hardships I've been through.
Aw, that does fit too.
And let's see. Laws. Click. Gold seems like a lot of money to me, and I'll just do just about anything to get more of it. Wow. I don't think I could have chosen those any better.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. All right. With your alignments, I don't want anybody to be evil. So please go from neutral to good. Thank you. It'll be tough if we have evil characters and then I gotta worry about it. I'm great with all of the options from lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral, chaotic neutral. But I would prefer to avoid evil because it's a lot harder for me to try to direct a group of people if one guy is evil and then we have this like group of party where the good thing to do would be to go clear out this cave full of orcs to help the town stop being raided by them if you don't want the town to stop being raided by them, or you're potentially like subverting what the rest of the players are doing. So from neutral to good in the range, please.
Neutral
So,
chaos.
wait, I don't know. Did we? Is there a spot to actually pick this?
Yeah, we're on description number 4, and if you go down
Oh,
after the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws, there's character details, and you choose your alignment. What did you pick, Chris?
I didn't pick that. Okay.
Chaotic neutral.
I'm so surprised.
Why?
I'm not surprised at all.
Okay.
Like, it's the
Well, it
slightest.
fits with the character.
Okay.
As the paladin, I obviously had to go with chaotic neutral as well. Makes perfect sense.
It does. I'm so glad. Everyone's just going to be trying to do the things that they want to do. I hope you all don't screw each other over.
I'm not going to screw anybody up. Well, I might.
My faith is strong.
So the faiths there's gods. There are a whole pantheon of gods. You don't have to pick it right now. I can link to you guys to the portion of where the gods are.
Did they give you a bonus in anything?
They don't give you a bonus in anything. It's just flavor.
Agnostic.
Here's the deal. You can't be agnostic because in this world, the gods literally walk like they literally are real, and
What if
everybody knows they're real. You might hate them all, but that means there's a good chance that they'll hate you.
That's fine.
Your typical person in this realm is someone who understands that gods are real, and will try to pay patronage to different gods in different situations. So if you're at the luck temple, you'd be like, man, I'm gonna throw some coins into this fountain and pay patronage to the luck god because I hope to be lucky in our next adventure. If you're going to a place where there's a lawful good temple and they've just healed you, you would just out of normal intelligence say, you know what, I should probably pay patronage to this god because they just helped me. You wouldn't want them on your bad side.
All right.
Or creatures that worship them on your bad side. Or maybe they're like, we'll heal your friends, but he refuses to believe in our god, so we're not going to help him.
What would a begrudging belief in all gods be called?
I don't know. But I'm going to link you over to the gods of Faerun, and you guys could look at the different gods and this whole deal. And if you want to pick one that you worship, I'm going to basically be throwing out that they all kind of exist.
I was gonna ask, based on my character description, I should probably pick an actual one, even if I don't refer to it.
Yeah, as a cleric, you're pretty much going to have to, right? Your subclasses are going to be, there's a I barely looked at the cleric.
Oh no, I'm a paladin.
Oh, you're the paladin? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oz, you're the cleric.
What about a lifestyle?
Right. So, Oz, I think, don't you have to be one? What about lifestyle? Ooh, okay. Either you're going to go with, I'll start you all, you can all live. So here's the deal. So what this is, when it says like squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, or aristocratic, this isn't how much money you have. This is how much it costs a day for you to live this kind of lifestyle.
Well, mine
So,
in my description says modest.
so you would probably want to be a modest lifestyle. That means you would spend a gold on maybe, room and board in a place that doesn't have to be that great, and the food you're getting is not like super incredible.
Right.
So it's that kind of thing. So you have that kind of like daily thing. So aristocratic. So like if any of you had chosen the noble background, you might have to go with the aristocratic lifestyle because your character would inherently not settle for anything but the best. So considering what we have, I don't see anybody as living the aristocratic lifestyle. Um, doesn't sound like any of you are wealthy, but kind of that's where you want to make this choice.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah, because I remember I did it, and I was like, oh, I totally want to be living a wealthy lifestyle as a noble, and then I understood that I was like, oh wait, no, I don't want to be spending 4 gold a day. It's a lot, to have if you're trying to find a place that would be. Now, you're not always going to have it either. Obviously, you guys will be out in the woods and you'll be making camp and stuff like that. But, if you're in a town where there's a choice and your lifestyle was wealthy, your character would inherently want to go to the finer place and maybe argue with everybody. Be like, no.
Food, beds, all that.
Yeah.
How old should I make this guy?
You
So I
can
don't know.
decide that later.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. You guys have physical characteristics. You go for
You
it.
can roll a die for that. There's stuff in the older books of like a range you could roll on of adventuring age.
Yep. And you obviously can't be like, I'm 400-year-old human. Humans don't live that long.
That means I gotta go back to my description, I guess.
Let's see. List of Forgotten Realms deities.
Your race
Faerunian
description.
Pantheon.
Your race description will tell you how long a character of that race lives, and it'll probably also tell you a bit about like options like I know the elves off the top of my head, like their skin colors, there's a selection, their hair colors, there's a selection, and the suggestions in there. So in player's handbook, go check them out if you want to. We don't have to like set it all down now. But
Yeah,
when you
those
picked
I'll-
when you picked those other things before, you should now see under personal characteristics your 2 personality traits, your ideals, bonds, and flaws. If you clicked a bunch while you were doing that, there's a ton here. So get rid of the ones that don't do it because this is going to punch out to your character sheet later.
Gotcha.
What did you pick, Chris? You eat like a pig and you had bad
you-
manners. What else was there?
I think anyone who's nice to me is hiding evil intent. Then ideals, aspiration. I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of a better life. Bonds is no one else should have to endure the hardships I've been through. Flaws are gold seems like a lot of money to me. I'll do just about anything for more.
Cool. The next section is notes. And anyway, if I'm going too fast or anybody has a question, please just stop me and ask. I'll try and answer the best I can, and maybe somebody else here can answer it better than I can too. For the organizations, I don't think you guys really have to worry about that right now. Allies, similarly, we're not at a point where you guys are all going to be level 1. Your allies are kind of each other. And I'll try and suggest a way that you guys all might know each other, but if y'all like kind of want to throw in on that, we can talk about that later too. Enemies, same. I mean, you could go into Xanthar's guide, and there's some great stuff for building all of this backstory out. So if you want to like roll for it, like I think I've rolled the whole thing for the elf, and it's elves usually have like one child, maybe two, but I rolled it as 7. And then I had it, and then I also rolled like backstory for all of 7, and then like all these other like different things. There's some fun stuff in that section of Xanathar's guide. You want to check it out, and then there's other notes and stuff too. Like it, and for me in the other section, I added flair to like what my wizard spell book acts like. Nothing that would try and affect the game. Like it's like it, but her spell book flies open every time I cast a spell. Like there's a big gust of wind and pages start flying out of it. Just seems kind of like there's tons of pages and they're landing all over the place. And the spells are shaped from the pages or do things on the pages. So it's all like flair, but I like flair. If you guys do like a backstory, Rock Squid, Joe, you gave me a great backstory. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you. And I wish I could get it into these notes without screwing up the screwing up the fucking formatting.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's Evernote that did that.
It might be. I don't know. So the next screen is equipment.
All right.
So on your equipment, if you click equipment or gold, you're gonna have a choice here. You can either randomize and get gold, or you can get equipment. If you guys don't want equipment from the list to choose, and you'd rather do the gold, I'd prefer to do the roll for everyone and tell you how much gold you have. So everybody would kind of start out with the randomized amount, or just go through and choose your equipment. It's probably better off to choose the equipment that you've already just spent the money on this stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna choose equipment.
I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah, I'm doing that too.
Cool.
Rapier or short sword? Which one's faster?
Probably
a rapier.
I think. Well, I think they're both similar in that. Let me look up the equipment. I think one might be Dex.
What do you mean by faster?
Like lighter. Which one would a rogue use?
So
I think a rapier's thinner.
I think since both a short sword and a rapier are light weapons, they're both going to use your dex either way.
Yeah.
So if it was a long sword, right? That might not
that'd be a strength check.
Yeah, it might not be under your proficiencies, so it would fall under what the item uses.
I was gonna say I've got the stats right here too. If you're curious.
Yes, please do, because I was looking them up. I don't know if you can see me on stream. I'm like, here I go.
Okay, so a short sword is 1d6 piercing, and it's got finesse, which means you can use your dex instead of your strength, and it's light, which I believe is you can hold it in your offhand. And then a rapier is just finesse. It doesn't have the light thing, but it does 1d8 damage.
No, what was the damage on the short sword?
1d6.
So you have a die that has 2 more sides, so you have a little bit higher chance of doing it. But with with light weapons, there is an option. I think one of your class stats on a rogue is even two-handed fighting. So if you had 2 light weapons, you might do it. Also, at the same time, short swords are kind of going to be all over the place. Like if you kill a guy who's using a sword, I'm going to let you pick up his sword, and it's going to be a standard sword.
Well, what's kind of cute is I can have a rapier and a short sword, because the first tier is a rapier or a short sword. The second tier is a short bow or a short sword.
Now, what that would mean is you don't have a bow, so you're not going to have any kind of long range attack. You're going to have to get up in everybody's face.
All right, damn it.
To attack. So just think of that. It doesn't mean you don't do it. I mean, you're super dex based.
Oh,
You might be really good at dodging, and so
okay. Well,
being in close
honestly,
quarters isn't so bad for you.
if I want to double fist it, the next one down after the packs is leather armor, 2 daggers, and thieves' tools. So, all
You'll come with 2 daggers already.
right.
So rapier and a short bow might give you more options.
I have a pet mouse.
Yeah, I saw that. That's hilarious.
All right, cool.
What
So
did you
I
What did you pick between the burglars, dungeoneers, and explorers?
Oh, burglars.
Burglars pack.
Yeah.
Ball bearings, 10 feet of string, bell, candles, crowbar, hammer, pittons, hooded lantern,
What's a
flasks of oil. I don't
I
even
think I get it.
remember.
Did he say what's a pittance?
No, what's
Oh.
a piton?
PITON?
I don't even know.
What the?
Pitten. It says
Oh,
a spike you use to rock climb.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
The official description: when a wall doesn't offer handholds and footholds, you can make your own. A piton is
Like
a
a
steel
ninja.
spike with an eye through which you can loop a rope. So think like
So-
rock climbing. Maybe you could climb up a wall, insert the piton into a place, and then throw a rope in so somebody else who's not good at climbing could be climbing up afterwards.
May require more than one.
Yeah. Well, I
What's,
mean,
what the
it's 5 copper, anyways.
fuck is that? Yikla? Yikla? YKLA?
I'm gonna look it up because you're asking. YKLA.
Yeah, Google's not helping. I've got a dude with a cell phone and a beard. Do I get to swing him around?
Yes. But no. It's actually been coming up on D&D Beyond.
Spell it
'cause I
again.
forgot. Oh, it's like
YKLWA.
YKLWA. Yeah, my bad. That explains why I didn't get what I thought I.
Yiklwa, pronounced Yiklwa.
Simple
Okay, so
melee
I-
weapon, tradition of the Chultan or warriors. 3-foot wooden shaft with a steel or stone blade up to 18 inches long.
I'm picturing like a pickaxe here.
It does, yeah, kind of like a spear, like a short spear, seems like. It has range.
Oh.
It has range of a thrown range, so you're throwing
Oh, like an
you can throw
Aladdin
it.
style spear. Okay, that works.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't have reach, so it's not like an actual spear. It's basically like a sword that does 1d8 piercing damage.
Like a rapier does.
Yeah, yeah, just like we found out. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna add starting equipment.
Oh, and it's not. You can't. It can be thrown, but
you
it's
can't throw it well more than 10 feet.
yeah. So your range is a really short range for it as a thrown weapon. So it's 10 to 30. So
But if needed, you can step back to 10 feet and do a ranged attack. And then go
Okay.
pick it up. And do it again.
and
And again.
yeah, and anytime you would try to throw something outside of range, you have to do it with disadvantage. So you basically got to roll twice and take the worst number. So keep that in mind. Bows and arrows, throwing knives, stuff like that. You guys aren't
Oh, yeah.
gonna have any. Let's see, active. Your inventory is pretty empty. Your personal possessions and add items. You're not going to be adding any of that because you're only just getting the stuff that comes with your class. So we don't gotta go nuts.
You
there.
gotta
All right. Cool.
gotta add them items.
All right. So you guys got that page of equipment done because there is a second page, which is currency.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Didn't even touch that.
Yep. It's a really bizarre link to click, but if you go back to number 5 equipment,
Oh,
it says
okay,
manage
currency.
and currency.
Okay.
And I'm
I
gonna
have-
decide what
I
to.
have the stuff that I got from my background, and that's it.
Cool. So under currency, I don't want you guys to be hungry.
It's got me starting with 10 gold.
Same. Just from background, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna spoil you guys a little bit and give you a little bit more. Start out
I mean,
if you don't have any. Is there anyone who
I mean-
doesn't have any in that section?
What's up?
Under equipment?
Oh, I'm still like messing around with it, but
Oh, your numbers and your stats?
no, just
no,
the,
no,
the equipment.
Okay. This is in the equipment, but it's under the currency section. And I'm figuring out what to give you guys right now.
Let's see.
Let's see if there's any recommendations.
I mean, you start with a pack, and the pack has food.
Yeah. I mean, so you guys should be fine. I was gonna spoil you a little bit.
I don't mind. Thanks a lot, Oz.
Oh, okay, there we go. I get it.
He gets it.
I get it. I'm on top of this.
All right.
Guess it.
So,
I'm getting a basket.
Why?
Why not?
I mean, because
you
you have a
wanna
thing to
carry it?
carry stuff in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some flowers and a little blanket. We're gonna have a picnic, guys. That's
We're
how we
gonna have
meet.
a picnic.
Fuck
That's
your
how we
picnic.
meet. Would you like to donate to the church?
Which church?
The church.
It's beautiful.
There is more than one, you know.
Maybe
Alright.
not for him.
Sure. What would you like to donate?
Okay,
We're kind of dodging the issue here.
I'll tell you what. If for some reason somebody doesn't get currency automatically from their class description, because you should get something, but if you
Yeah, I
don't,
think I started off with like 10 gold or something.
okay. So you all should start with something. I was gonna think if there was some reason that you wouldn't, we'll work that out together.
All right. So the next.
I think I think that's it after equipment.
Yeah, basically it takes you to what's next, and you can view your character sheet.
Oh damn! I'm almost encumbered.
You know why?
Because my strength is 8.
Because you have low strength. Yeah, so you're gonna be like pushing the line there.
All right. So then, what's next?
Well, actually, you guys should just have character sheets at this point. So, Chris, this is a great place to now start looking at when we talked about those different stats, what they mean in your proficiencies. So, you should have this center column that's skills, and you see like acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics. And this was the list that I really couldn't remember when we were talking about it before. So I was like struggling with trying to remember these things. So when you wanted to talk about the difference of wisdom and intelligence, if you look now, you could see the modifiers where they're coming from, plus whatever bonuses you might have gotten from your class or your race. And then you end up with this bonus number on the right. So for an instance of Chris, his stealth did stack, which is freaking ridiculous.
That's great.
And I'm like, I'm so annoyed that we're using, and this is why we're not using
No
critical
one
role
will
stuff.
ever see me.
This is why we're not using critical
Where is
role
it?
stuff, because
Okay,
I am
okay.
positive that there would be tons of game breaking stuff, and I would be just mad. I'd be mad.
So yeah, my dexterity is 17, and then the stealth is +7.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that works.
Well, but
So
it's
I will
it's with
be-
the double. It's the double proficiency that
Yeah.
you got. So all of
That's
his,
how that works. So you have the hide action in combat.
yeah. But if you look
you
at his
can go into
other
stealth.
dex stats, they're his normal bonus, which is a much more normal bonus, which is a +3 on acrobatics. It's a
My
+3,
athletics, though, my athletics are strength -1, so
right?
that's real bad.
So yeah, because your athletics, you are not strong. You have thin arms. You do it. So what you can do here, though, is now that you've got this screen on here, and you can start looking at these numbers to understand them this way. If you go back, this week, we don't have to do it right now. We can do it later. We can do it, or if you want to do it now, we can work it out now. But you can go back, edit your character, And you just go to your go to edit character and go back to your abilities, and then we're under standard array because I think you all chose standard array, if that's right.
Yep. Well,
Yep.
no, I went with point buy, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely is. Like I said, you just might have two scores that are lower. So for instance, like Chris is not strong in this setup. If no one else is strong, and you guys do come to the point where you find a giant chest full of gold and gems and things, you're gonna have a tough time getting it back. Or you might have to leave it to go back and get a horse and carriage and then come back and then hope that it's still there because you guys didn't have the strength to lift it. Now, like probably between the four of you, you could all like slowly make your way over there, from a I'm gonna keep throwing caves out there because that's the first thing that comes to mind. From some cave back to the town, and you might just increase your chance of somebody finding you and having an encounter on the way because it takes you longer or something. So I'm not gonna like deny you guys stuff, but I will try to make there some kind of consequence for the choices that you're making in these areas. So, but if somebody's got a really high strength score, it might be good that or it might be okay that Chris doesn't have a high strength score, right?
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so it could be fine. Just like kind of work it out. I still think of it like a video game, and it's tough to like break it here, especially when you're talking like down to these numbers. Like if you've got your tanks, you probably want to have high strength and constitution, right? Like so if somebody's playing that role, because then they're going to be a lot better off when a cloud of poison gas erupts in their face and they can make a constitution saving throw and survive and not be poisoned because they're right in the mix of things. And then there's, you're squishy as fuck and somebody comes up and you have to make one of these other saving throws, might be rough. So Chris's is really interesting.
Cool.
Like looking at his stats are really interesting. Like he has a +7 in stealth, you guys. It's level 1. So like you're gonna if you look in the player's handbook, they'll tell you a bit more about where you like gain your next like class ability. Usually I think it's like level 3 for most. I know with wizards it was level 2. I think there's some others that might be level 2. I'm gonna have to, when I know which class you are, that's when I'm gonna need a week to read through all of your classes. So I know how they operate, and I want you to read through them so that you know how they operate too. So you can take some of the burden off of me, but I am gonna read through them so I have this better, understood. Your stealth is disgusting.
What is his stealth at?
It's
It's gonna be a lot of
+7.
fun.
It's +7 at level 1. So like, yeah, he is.
3 things at +5. No, 4 things at +5.
And they're probably your wisdom stats or your charisma stats.
Wisdom.
Your wisdoms. I mean, those are good. If you're talking about medicine and death saving throws, if you're talking about perception and noticing things that come by, your passive numbers will be on the left-hand side. You got passive wisdom, passive intelligence, or passive perception, investigation, and insight for Chris here. So like, if somebody's lying to him and they do a bad deception roll and it's lower than 11, Chris will understand that, hey, I don't believe him, and I'd turn to him and be like, Letus doesn't believe him.
So I'm looking up tiefling names, and this is actually kind of cool. They have virtue names like art, carrion, chant, creed, torment, excellence, fear. That's actually a pretty cool like naming convention.
Chris has also got a sneak attack, classic rogue level 1, where he gets to deal bonus damage if he has advantage, or if somebody else within 5 feet of the target. So if the tank is in the middle, and our paladin is in the middle there, and then Chris gets to attack. He's gonna have the chance to do extra damage if he gets a hit.
So I named my character.
You named him?
Yeah,
What is it?
jerk.
Jerk. What's your last name?
He doesn't have one. They're generally one. They just have a single name.
All right, I'll tell you what. Go with it, but I want you to spell it in a weird way, so that way it's fantasy.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Make sure that there's like a hyphen or an apostrophe in there.
Joik. Joik.
Let's see.
Man, this whole website's pretty fucking cool. I love the fact that it tells you where to find like the page numbers for your different feats and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty sweet. That's why I went and used it, and that's why I spent the money on this one, so we could all do this and have it a lot easier. But again, that's also why we're not adding Critical Role stuff or some of the other books without somebody volunteering to buy them. You know, so if it
now-
really, if CJ really wants that gunslinger class and she wants to send me the money for the Critical Role book where that's in the class, I will allow it. But
Now, can
then
you
we're also going to have perhaps more spells and maybe different feats. So we might be like kind of resetting us, and that I'm not so into.
Can you see my character sheet?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw jerk. Let me reroll. Jerk J hyphen RK. I like it. Jerk. Jerk. Jerk.
Sounds like a scroll name.
But yeah, I can view it now that I've got it, and I can see it in here. And yeah, I see
Yeah,
your
you should be able to see
ceiling
mine
number
too.
stats. Yep. Actually, why don't I go back and I'm going to open those up.
What is this
Kinda
little
browse.
inspiration thing on my sheet?
Inspiration's pretty cool. It basically, if I were to give you inspiration, like remember when we started and Bear, he was the first person to fill it out, and I said inspiration.
Yeah.
The reason I said that is because I would be saying, okay, I'm going to give him inspiration. Inspiration is a one-time re-roll on a roll after it's been rolled.
Okay.
So, like for that match, maybe one of you like does a really great job role playing through a scenario, and I'm like really impressed, and I could give you inspiration for that incredible RPG feat. Or maybe somebody like comes up with a slick plan in order to handle this boss monster, or for you guys to like escape a jail without getting caught or something. You know, maybe I would give you inspiration for the day or the next match or something where you have a free reroll on something, which could be really cool because maybe you like really need to catch this golden chalice that grants wishes as it's about to fall off, and you're like, oh, I got a 6.
So what's a two?
Reroll inspiration. Boom, he got a 12. He caught it. Hold on a second. I'm going to open up everybody's things.
Okay.
So I've got leadist's character, your second character. I'm going to remove this one that
Yeah,
you
go
made
ahead.
and started. That's out. View. And view. Cool.
And then when we do play, are we going to be rolling, or are we going to be rolling in the program?
Well, D20 will let us roll a dice on screen.
Okay, that's perfect.
It's pretty slick so that we could all see it too. So if you guys want to do it that way, awesome. If you want to roll a physical dice, the thing with the fact that we're like in different locations means since I can't verify that, and you don't want to use the one like in the app, if you have a camera, and I hope everybody has a camera because we can use cameras in everybody's faces down there. If you have a camera and you're showing me your dice tray and you show me that roll and you bring the roll close down to the camera so that I can read it, I will accept that as well. I feel like that's fair. That way you can still get the fun of rolling dice.
Gotcha.
Because I know we're like removing a lot of the physical element from this. Like we will have like a virtual tabletop over in Roll20. but it's not quite the same as like purchasing your own mini and having it there on the table in front of you. So, and then I will probably run through the tutorial there. Let's see, it's 8:12, so I've probably got about another 15 minutes. But I think it's pretty badass, guys. Like, we totally walked through this. And you guys did a great job. Like,
Jerk is a real thing now.
yeah, jerk exists.
Guy.
So let's see. Is it Godwald? Godwald? How do you pronounce it? You guys don't have to have last names. Probably won't use your last names super often, if not. But if you think of something that fits your character, cool. Pubert Piterbottom is just it's great.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, I was looking up the tiefling names, and they're
Usually like a one word.
yeah. It says they're typically have names that are reflective of their culture, and they're all just one word names for male and female. And then the virtue names are they're um, signifies a virtue or other concept that they try to embody.
That's cool. Yeah, so like a lot of DMs probably would have been like no tieflings because they're typically evil, and then everyone views them as evil, and so it's going to be hard for you guys to just get through the initial town or whatever. I'm gonna let it go, and I'll
Well,
probably play some of these rolls in and maybe force you into rolling some.
with my stealth at a +7, I think I'll be fine sneaking through the town.
I mean, yeah, you might just try to stay out of sight while other people are dealing with merchants and stuff.
Like your sexy, sexy paladin.
Sexy, sexy paladin. It's a sexy male paladin.
Yep.
Love it. Oh yeah, this is great. So I
Happy with this.
see. I love this, dude. Your initiative's so low, and -1.
Yep.
Pure paladin. Is it Taliesin or Tailsin?
It's Taliesin.
Taliesin. Taliesins are +2. Jerks are +3. Godward's got a +1. All right. Your dex space classes.
I gotta go, guys. But
Thanks.
got my guy.
I love it. And I'm gonna use these like as your classes. So like, please don't like switch your class. But if you like play around with your stats because you like figure you want something better, or you change around some other stuff and equipment, I'm cool with that. Your backgrounds, like you write a background, it's a good chance I might throw you inspiration the first round. It's the first time we play. And bonus points to anybody who can help give a reason for why all of these characters, these various classes and races have come together. It's another one where maybe if you don't want to, you're not so into your own background, but you can like come up with a decent reason how you all know each other, stuff like that. I'm willing to throw inspiration out to help out and have fun.
Okay.
All right. Joe, that was fun. That's great. I'm awesome. I think that's so awesome.
What, do we got this all set up?
Yeah, I know. I love it.
And looks like we've actually got several characters put together already. So
Yeah, we're good. And it's a shame that CJ couldn't be here today to walk through this with us. I'm super sad that we miss our one female player.
then my question is, so when we actually play, there will be a map up.
Do you have the stream up?
Yeah.
I just clicked over to Roll20. I'm gonna go through the tutorial here probably tomorrow or Wednesday. I gotta update my resume for work for applying for that job, so it might be Wednesday. But if you can see this here, this is basically our virtual tabletop. There will be a map for the encounters where a map is necessary. I could probably throw a bunch of different ones together. Joe was kind enough to share a bunch of resources so that we can go ahead and we'll see like if he's got any like just regular towns merged down there, I'll probably do like an overarching map of a town. If there's a town area that we can have. So even if we're just talking about, okay, we go over to this place, maybe I just mark it on the map rather than showing you, okay, we're in this room. But definitely if there's ever encounters, I'll always try to have something out there for that. And
Well, one of my like, I don't know if it's not really ability or anything. It's a perk for my background. Is I know the secret patterns and flows to cities. I can find passages through urban sprawls and that others would miss.
so in larger cities, in larger towns too, like where somebody locally might know the way. If you've already been through the town once, you might have a better insight on how to get from one side to the other without the map.
Yeah, it's just when you're not in combat, um, you and your companions you lead can travel between any two locations in the city twice as fast as it would normally allow.
Yeah, so Talison's going to be rough on me in the storytelling with his passive perception and passive insight at 15.
This is at level 1?
Yeah, this is passive numbers. So basically, like, I mean, you're not going to
Spell
have
stat.
a bunch of people like trying to get to you, but that's a good one. Like, Hubert's low on his initiative and his passive ones aren't so high, but you guys have fairly high passive numbers in a lot of these, so you'll probably be you guys noticing these things. But he's also got a lot of like spell slots. He's changed it out. His persuasion is very high. So if we're in situations where I allow that to like roll through, he's gonna be, he's gonna be better off. His armor class is very high. It's a good thing too, as a tank. If he can get in the middle of things.
Yeah,
You guys are gonna be thankful for his AC of 18.
he's clumsy and a little dumb, but hopefully he'll hold together.
I didn't even think you were here anymore. That's hilarious. I'm talking about you like you're gone. I thought you had to go.
Oh no, I'm in not a terrible hurry.
Oh, was that Bear then?
Yeah, Bear took off.
Oh, okay. I got this mixed up. Yeah, no, I love it. Though your AC is insane. Level 1. But yeah, like finding and disarming locks, that's gonna be over in Jerk's territory.
Oh yes.
Yeah, not who's got your highest investigation? It might be you still. Yeah, so it's still you.
Well, my investigation is intelligence +2, so it's 11 +2.
Well, that's your stat is 11. You would roll for it, and then you have a bonus of +2.
Yeah, a bonus of +2.
So you could roll a 5, and it would be 7 for a particular instance.
Yeah.
But your passive investigation is 12. So if there was something like you guys are in a room, and I tell you to like roll investigation, you don't roll so hot, but maybe I really want you to find something. I could look at your
okay.
passive. I could look at your passive investigation and be like, 12. You see it.
Yeah, I
Or
I see those
somebody's,
now.
or you might figure out how to undo that block. Get your thieves tools out, and then we'll throw the bonuses on here, and now you have a better chance.
I have dark vision up to 60 feet too, so
Oh yeah, are you the only one with dark vision?
I don't know.
I think you might be, because we've
Dark.
got human. You're the only tiefling, a human, and a wood elf. So the wood half elf probably has dark vision, I would guess.
So
I
it's
used
just
to
Yeah.
get around that.
I have
Yeah. Well, you have a light, really, or eventually maybe you have magical objects that do lights instead of just your torches, because I'm pretty sure you should all have torches, or at least someone has them from their adventuring equipment.
now I don't know if this is what I have or not, but I clicked on senses. It says
Yeah.
I've got a passive check. I've got blind sight listed. It says special senses are described below. Blind sight. A monster with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius.
So those are descriptions of those terms. Those aren't
Okay.
things that you have.
Okay.
You would find your dark vision under in the right hand
Yeah,
side.
there it is. Yeah,
Features and
it's,
traits. Features and
monster-
trait.
dim light with a radius as if it were bright light. Okay.
Yeah, so your features and traits are a pretty interesting little category because you have expertise that gave you the bonus proficiencies for the two that you picked, the thieves tools and the stealth. So your thieves tools, right? That's we're talking about your lock picks and stuff.
Right.
You got your sneak attack, your thieves can't, so that special mix of it. So I don't know, maybe if you guys encounter other thieves too, or you go to a town and you're in a bar and someone's speaking in thieves cant to someone else, you might pick up on the things that they're actually saying when it sounds like they're having a regular conversation. And you're actually
Right.
picking up on how they're talking about a drop point outside of town next to a river. So there's some stuff like that. Dark vision. Your resistance to fire damage is pretty good. Resistance means half. So if you
cool.
take fire damage, I'm pretty sure you take half of it, if I remember that correctly.
Well, with 9 hit points, I'm gonna need some resistance.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even notice your 9 hit points.
It's low. They're
Godwald's
all low. It's
Godwald's
very low.
10. Pubert's 12.
Yeah, look at me.
Saleson's 9 too. But let's see, we're probably you guys are going to be able to put on some armors. I
I'm
don't know.
wearing my armor. I mean,
Right?
my leather armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and
11,
see.
11 AC.
Your AC, Chris, is actually 13.
14.
Oh, you equipped the leather armor in your.
Mhm.
Yep. Light armor. I'll have to check your guys' classes on what you can use, but like Chris, I'm pretty sure as a dex-based character, leather armor is going to be all you're going to wear, or else you're going to
Yeah.
suffer from your.
Being
gonna-
over encumbered.
Well, you're going to suffer from the type of armor. So it's basically like heavy armors, plate armor is too heavy for you to wear, and you would maybe suffer disadvantage on your dexterity stuff. So when you want to be like ducking really fast in order to dodge a blade, it's probably going to it would lower you. I'll have to figure it out exactly.
If I remember, and I could totally be quoting this wrong, but I feel like with certain types of armor, you have a maximum dex bonus you can have.
Yep.
So you might
Maybe
put
that's
on
it.
you get like you get with chainmail. I think you can have like a +2. That's a number I'm pulling out of my butt. But
Maybe that was
What?
earlier, not 5. 'Cause I don't.
yeah,
But-
that's what I'm curious about too. 'Cause
So I'll make sure to look it up and be sure on it because I'm doing it. Oh, there it is. There's your proficiencies. You can't use something you don't have proficiency in. So, like, Taleson's light and medium armor as a druid, and he can use shields. Shirk is only light armor, so any medium armor you just wouldn't be able to equip. You wouldn't have
Alright.
proficiency
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it to be able to wear it, or you're gonna suffer some kind of. There is a penalty. Maybe it is just like you're describing. I'll double check. Godwold, on the other hand, heavy, light, medium, shields.
I think
Yep.
Jerk's gonna
Yep.
be pretty badass. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this.
I can do lots of things when
Yeah.
I get them later.
Right. I'm gonna put Taleson's armor on, so it goes up to 13 AC.
Ooh, I just unlocked the title of adventurer.
Hey,
Yes.
ooh, I want to be an adventurer.
All right. Well, hey guys, good first meeting, right? I think
Absolutely.
I was excited for
Yeah.
that, and now too. And CJ comes over, just like, "Oh, I missed it. What happened?" I'd be like, "Go online and watch the stream. It was there." And she could just come back and check it out. That's her fault. She can hear me talking about her.
So I just wanted to throw out there because October is kind of a shitty month for me. I should be able to make next week. I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure I should be able to make it. The week after that, I'm being sent to Pennsylvania for a week. So I'll have my laptop and I'll do my damnedest, but it's probably safer to say that I won't be there.
Okay. We could use this month as our getting into things. Let's try to do next week with that being the case. Because then if we got to skip another week, I don't know, would that be like the end of October too, or is it just 1 week in there where you're just kind of out?
It's just the 1 week.
Okay.
Like next week is iffy just because some of the projects we got going at work. But honestly, I should be able to say, hey, I'm getting in at 5 in the fucking morning. I'm leaving now.
Yeah, I see that. I would make that argument too.
They're like, nah, fuck you, I'm leaving. And then, hey, if I keep up that attitude, maybe I'll be able to make it the next week too.
I like that. That's a good attitude to have.
Pet mouse. What are you gonna name the mouse, Chris?
I'll have to think about that.
You'd name it Chicken. I think it'd be Jerk and Chicken.
Jerk chicken. No. Actually, I'll just name it after my dog. I'll name the mouse Tank.
All right.
Why not like a totally anachronistic name? Like call him Diesel or Computer.
Something
okay,
just
he's-
outside the. I mean, Tank is
Yeah, he's gonna be named Tank. So I think
It's-
that's.
doesn't really fit. It's not like there are big tanks rolling around.
We'll name him Juggernaut.
It'll be like Tank, and then people will be like, "What? Like it
What's a
holds a bunch
tank?
of liquid? Can you drink a lot?
I'll think about it.
Like a tankard?" Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, with that, 8:30, I should probably peace out so that I am available and ready for Abby. In case, in fact, I should check my phone and be like, make sure I didn't miss a.
Let's
Oh,
see.
honey, come pick me up now. Yeah. All right. No, we're good there. Actually, probably have 10 more minutes if there's anything else we want to chat about. But I think we're pretty
Let's see
good
if
for this time being.
works. I
I'm gonna text CJ and tell her she missed. You missed character creation.
okay. I'm changing my character a little bit.
Okay. All right.
What direction?
I'm going from main human to variant human.
All right.
And that's the changes done. And I honestly just wanted to have an owl. So
Oh yeah.
Oh. You change it so you can have an owl, huh?
And this
So-
owl is gonna try and eat this mouse, huh?
no, here's what. So like a few years ago, I tried this when I was a wizard and everyone else in my party had dark vision. So I take the ritual caster feat. So I get a wizard ritual book with find familiar in it. So I get an owl, and I can use the owl's senses.
I am going to say if your class isn't one that can use a focus or I like the arcane focus, and I think there's excuses for some of the other classes that's not an arcane focus. That for like spells and stuff, I'm gonna want you to have the stuff in them. If it's like
have
yeah.
the components it wants.
Yeah, if you don't have the other item for it, I'm not gonna go as maybe if it is consumed by the spell, even if you have your arcane focus, then you probably need that anyways. But I don't want to make you guys try to like want to use like a chromatic orb and need a diamond, and you're not in a town where you can find a diamond for a long time. you know, and then you just have a spell that you can't really use. But if you have Find Familiar and you don't have it as prepared, you're doing it as a ritual, yeah, you're gonna need some charcoal, incense, and herbs in order to cast it. Does that make sense?
That sounds reasonable.
I want to be reasonable and not like game breaking, but I also don't want you to like not be able to do stuff. Like I said, with the like a sorcerer using chromatic orb, and then it's like it's got to have a gold diamond worth 50 gold. Is like you guys haven't even seen 50 gold yet.
No, so
So you would just have something like in your spell list that you'd be stuck
So-
with.
based on what, so let's see, check that, and I only really want to use like the two spells that this comes with. So I'm not going to try to do anything really crazy like that.
And spellcasters, you guys kind of like get the short end of it when you're starting, anyways. It's like
So-
even though you have all these spells, Healing Ward, Guiding Bolt, all this stuff, you still have 2 spell slots, so you got to do a long rest until you can back to it, right?
Well, it's a ritual, so
Well,
there
right.
is a
So that one,
ritual,
yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm getting 2 rituals: comprehend languages, which its components is a pinch of salt. It doesn't really matter.
Right, that's easy.
And find familiar, which I have to spend the components when I gain the familiar.
Well, it's a ritual, so you basically are burning
Yeah.
everything in a brazier. So you're doing a
Yeah, but, like,
ritual. You burn
casting the
charcoal,
spell
incense, and herbs.
is gaining the familiar itself. Summoning and dismissing it is just as an action. It's not really the casting of the spell, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you could summon and dismiss for the casting time. You got an hour and 10 minutes, I think, for the duration. Oh no, actually no, that's the duration. So for that one, it's unless the familiar dies. So if
Yeah,
it gets
so is it okay if I
squished,
start-
you got to
So is
recast
it okay
it.
if I start the campaign already having a familiar, as long as I pay the cost every time I get it? I have to get a new one.
Yeah,
And do I have to, like, can it be part of my background that I not pay out of my funds to get the owl in the first place?
so your first time.
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be easy enough to find charcoal, incense, and herbs. And
Yeah.
10 gold, but what do you end up having then? Is your gold's like probably low on end, anyways. You're
Yeah.
10, so you'd be spending all your money up front.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys,
Alright.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
hop off here. So I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, man. See you next week. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, yeah,
Thanks,
thanks for
man.
having me.
Yeah,
I
of
found
course.
you too.
So that's the kind of thing where I wanted to like maybe like spoil you guys a little bit on your gold side. So maybe I'll spoil you like 5 gold on it, and then if you spend the 10, you have 5 to start.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So then everybody,
with that.
but everybody, I'll kind of spread that around a little bit. Everybody would maybe pick that up, and that way enable you to do some of these things. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put you in a place where you just can't do the thing, but I also don't want to be like, yeah, you just get to do this whenever you damn well please. So that's not,
No, just the first one. Just like
yeah.
Found
Your
a name
first
for
one,
my
wow.
mouse.
Yeah?
My mouse is gonna be named Guts after the guy from Berserk.
Nice.
Oh wait, you're having a mouse?
Yeah, I have a mouse.
It's part of his background,
What, like being Oliver Twist?
basically. All right.
If his name was Jerk and he was a master of stealth.
All right. This is fun for me. I love
Oh,
that
yeah.
you feel like you might be encumbered already at your equipment level of 69. What is your total like possible? Your carrying capacity is 120. You're at 70 pounds. You're still good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still good.
You
but
got some room.
This isn't Dark Souls.
We're not counting gold against you. And again, if we're in a situation where we're like, yeah, we need to carry this thing back to the room, you know, like you collectively can all try to pick it up and carry it. So you all kind of combine your strength together.
I just added my possessions to give my mouse a name.
There you go. I'm cool with that
done.
stuff. If I notice people cheating and switching some of this stuff up, oh yeah, my sword does +2 damage. There will be consequence, repercussions.
So now, what is attuned items?
So they're like
Can I take this one?
You want
I
to?
like telling. I like telling these stories.
Go for it.
So
You get 3.
there are various types of magic items. Like potions of healing count as a magic item that you just use. Like armor that's been enchanted in certain ways. Some of it requires attunement and some of it doesn't. Attunement in the game is making it so that it's compatible with your spirit, basically, so that its magic works with you. So things that give a major benefit usually require attunement, and you get 3 of those. And if it takes a short rest to become attuned, you can stop being attuned as an action whenever. Like but you can wear stuff. You can wear and use stuff that you're not attuned with. You just don't get the magic benefit. This
Okay.
is to keep. So if you have like 6 different magic items that do different things, you can be wearing all of them. But if they all require attunement, you can only have 3 being magic at a time. It keeps it fair.
Ooh. In my other possessions, I have a token to remember my parents by.
There's a chart for tokens. There's a good one. Let me see if I
Oh
can
yeah,
find
there
where it
is somewhere. I forgot about that. There's the trinkets chart in the handbook.
Is that in the player's handbook?
Yeah, in the back of equipment.
Then you could pick something off that list, Chris.
It's percentile.
And oh yeah, you get crazy dice out of that. Or we could work out something that might be similar to that list.
Okay, we'll work on that later.
Tokens. Wah, 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 wah. I could have sworn. I feel like I should have find this really easy.
Like I'm looking at a bunch of trinkets, so they might not all fit the purpose. But there's a trinket list in the handbook.
Tank, watch out!
Yeah, here it is. Here, Chris, I'm gonna post the link in Discord.
Cool.
There's some interesting stuff here, like a gold coin minted in a very non-local way. It's like a tiny silver bell without a clapper. A silver spoon with an M engraved on a handle. A bag of 47 human teeth.
All right, so
A pair of old
will-
socks.
An old key. A glass eye.
A tiny sketch portrait of a goblin.
So
A sheet of parchment which has drawn a complex mechanical contraption.
I'm gonna roll for this right now and see what I get.
Yes.
All right, do it. 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 Do it.
Percentiles.
Well, I'm gonna roll. I've got a 10-sided die. I'm gonna roll once for the 10 digit and then one for the
Okay.
ones digit. Well, shit! I just got a 100.
Yeah, so it's an
100.
odd way. Here, let me. I'm gonna
That's
set.
an odd one.
Ready for another link?
Yeah.
You use this for now until we set up the dice rolling on the Roll20 app or the website.
22.
So it's
That's a nice one.
It's a D100. Like I just got 46 out of that. I sent you that one link. Let's see what that would be. If I rolled it for you, you would have a dead sprite inside a clear glass bottle.
I want that.
You want that?
Yeah.
All right,
That's your token?
Yeah. It was either that or the one I
there you
rolled
go.
is a small wooden statuette of a smug halfling.
Which is to say, any halfling.
And that's how you remember your parents.
Yep. It wasn't dead.
It wasn't dead when you put the Sprite in the bottle.
Yep.
Oh, I see. It's all right when Link does it.
Hey, listen.
I'm dying. Hey, listen.
So you got a fairy in a bottle. You carry it with you for the next 20 hours of gameplay with no air going in or out.
The fairy is dead.
And when you, it's like, and when you open it, when you shake the bottle, because you always open it and shake the bottle, it just plops onto the ground.
Just
Love
rattles
this.
around.
Right.
It's a skeleton at this point. All right. All right. Well, that was fun. I think we got a lot done.
Yeah, yeah. You just go to
I
your
have a
if you
whole
go to your
chair.
equipment and other possessions, you can replace the token and remember your parents by. Or I can do it because I've got your sheet open.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
I'm literally going to replace the words "a token" with a dead sprite inside a clear glass bottle to remember your parents by.
Perfect. Well, yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh, what? It didn't save. Oh, maybe I can't save yours. What? I can't I can't make changes to your sheets. Oh,
That
this is
doesn't sound right.
that does
doesn't
not
sound
sound right. Okay, there it is. The button just didn't load for me.
It doesn't sound right. Like he's the in charge. He should be able to blah blah blah.
Yeah. All right, I got it. A dead sprite inside a clear glass bottle to remember your parents by. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to stop the stream. If anybody was there from before, thanks for watching. Queen Sassy 2017, thanks for following us. And Lightning Girl 12, thanks for pointing out that you couldn't hear the guys over the stream. Really appreciate it. You saved my bacon. And I will catch you guys later. You gals later. I'm not.
Hey, Chris,
I'll catch you people later.
would you play some Battlefront 2 with me?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see if I can get